Just in case you missed it, last episode, DIAYE signed a new contract. The 19-year-old tied down for the foreseeable future, £24,000 a week. Yes, that is making my heart bleed. And if we look at the contract details, of course, if we don't get promoted, £5 million release clause. There's a load of bonuses here we're paying him, including 12,000 games per international appearance. Minor issue I hadn't thought about, it's the African Cup of Nations going on at the moment. So he's not even here at the club despite all the money we're paying him. And on top of that, in spite of him signing a brand new deal that pumps his transfer value up to 28 to 32 million pounds, Manchester City still want him. So all of the money that we're throwing at him, it might still not be enough. That is a little bit annoying. Last episode, we were discussing the possibility of an unbeaten season. That won't be happening. 2 games lost in the league since we last here. Another lost in the Carabao Cup too. There is some good news to speak of. We will cover that and more right after the intro. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to episode number 66 of Park to Prem. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Today is Tuesday, or, well, it's Monday for me as I sit and record. Don't want to ruin the illusion, but I am ready, refreshed, and, well, hoping we're going to turn our season around from where it has been going, because lately it's not been flawless. I mean, saying all of that, we are still top of the league, but when you've not lost a game in 2 months and then you lose 3 games in the space of 5 games, it doesn't feel all that good. Of course, last episode, 2 amazing results. We did follow them up with some more convincing wins. The first was against Charlton. We did then unfortunately draw against QPR. Queen's Park Rangers are just an enemy of this save game, aren't they? In this game here, 3-3 it finished, and well, we have one man to thank. DIAYE, 99th minute goal. Sing it with me now, it's fun to score with the DIAYE. He had an injury when he scored that header as well. Yeah, that was a really good result considering we were down in the 99th minute. Bit annoying to slip up against QPR. I feel like they've just been a constant enemy of this entire save game, haven't they? We bounced back with a really convincing win against Middlesbrough, but as we took on another team from the northeast, we couldn't get a win against Newcastle. That was despite the fact that Roger Rojas picked up man of the match in this game. 2 assists for the striker. He is looking like a really good player, already developing, I feel like, as well. Every time I look at him, I feel like he's getting better and better. This was another game where it took a late goal to get us a draw. Of course, with this being a cup game, it went to penalties. We bottled it. Colke scored in the 96th minute. I'm sat there thinking we're unbeatable. No, we bottled it in the shootout. Faye and Jedinak missing the all-important penalties. Eventually, we will have a team full of good penalty takers. We do not have that here right now. That Newcastle game was our first defeat of the season. I wasn't going to let that bother me too much because they are a Premier League team. It was in a Carabao Cup game. We're not going to win the Carabao Cup. I hate to break it to you guys. What did bother me was this, a defeat against Ipswich at home, 1-0 up at half-time, and then Ipswich Town scored 3 unanswered goals in the second half. To be fair, they are pushing towards the playoffs, but an annoying way to lose out on an unbeaten start to the year. After that game against Ipswich as well, 2-0 against Southampton was great, 4-1 against Coventry. Good to see Colke picking up more goals. Colke, 7 goals, 6 assists. This guy is just always going to be our super sub, isn't he? I feel like he's one of those players who I probably should start, but it's just so difficult to find room for all our attacking talent. And to be fair, 13 goal contributions in 17 games, only 7 starts in there as well. He has been absolutely sensational. I know there's a Colke fan club. They're probably screaming for him to start more often. Sadly, however, we did lose yet another game, this time against Reading, 2-0 defeat. This one of those games where they just felt like they scored every time they broke against us. Kinski did not have a good game in goal. To be fair, when you look across the ratings of, well, all the outfield players, no one played well in this one. But we did bounce back nicely with 2 wins recently. The first, 5-0 against Stoke. That was delightful. Ngoma with a hat-trick, albeit 2 of those goals were from the penalty spot. Of course, last episode, I've already mentioned it, DIAYE signed a new deal. Lots of people telling me, Jack, Ngoma, give him a new contract. He's still on a part-time deal, just as a reminder. I've already tried to negotiate a contract with him. You can see here, he wants wages between £30,000 and £36,000 a week. I'm not giving him, this guy, £36,000. He's still contracted for the next 2.5 years. We have recently been able to convince him to lower his squad status down to squad player. As much as I love Ngoma, as good as he is a player who I feel like has now just fulfilled his potential. Ultimately, he was released by Crystal Palace when they were in the Premier League, so he was never guaranteed to have any kind of massive potential. His all-time development is really, really impressive. His technicals have taken a little bit of a tumble, but to be fair, we invested so much of his training and development into his mentals and physicals because they have to be better to play at an elite level. When he joined us, I think his sprint speed and acceleration were like around 10, which just isn't good enough when you get into the kind of level that we're at right now. And in spite of his really good developments over the last 12 months, to be honest, he has just stagnated. And at 23 years old, I feel like this is the Ngoma that we're going to get. I don't think any amount of training is going to allow him to, exceed his current potential. Of course, he has fulfilled his potential. He's just not worth £30,000. I'm hoping that if we get promoted, maybe his squad status drops further, he'll then realise his worth and ask for a reasonable sum of money. 30,000 is not that. Most recently, we picked up a win against Hull City. This game here, a 4-3 win. We turned it around in the second half, and Ngoma scored in this game, Rojas scored in this game, and Fabien scored too. Yes, the Frenchman, of course, came in and was our record transfer at £6 million when he joined us. 4 goals, 4 assists, 7.32 rating. I feel like this year in Football Manager, I've not seen deep defensive midfielders, kind of in terms of positions, get particularly good ratings. Right now, Riviere and João Victor, well, I was going to say they're breaking the mould. João Victor less so. I mean, he's got a 7.14 rating in the league, 1.2 rating in the league. But yeah, defensive midfielders don't get great ratings normally. The fact that Riviere's averaging a 7.32 really screams at how good this guy is. So with all those recent results, this is how the league table looks. Of course, Bournemouth were right behind us as of last episode. They have fallen way off the pace. They are now 12 points behind us as we approach the halfway point in the season. In fact, we will hit that point during this episode with 23 games played. Luton are our closest rivals, 5 points behind us. Oxford behind them, of course, a team we beat convincingly. Today's games, we've got Wrexham. We've got an away day to Wales. Look forward to that. And then after that game, we are going to take on Burnley. Burnley are a really weird team. They had a media prediction of second. They're currently down in 18th. They've already sacked their manager this year. And to be fair, I've looked at their team. Their team, whilst it doesn't have a load of standout players, it's a very, very well-rounded team. If we just look at some of their best players, like Alex Vanucci here, I mean, this guy's a more than serviceable centre-back. They should be way higher than they currently are. I suppose the fact their media prediction was second kind of gives you an indicator of just how good their team is. In fact, when you look at the updated odds here, they're still predicted to finish 8th in the title fight, which I suppose just shows how good they are. Not expecting that to be an easy one, but we have already done the away day at Turf Moor. Just to remind you all, it happened last year in Park to Prem. I hated the wooden away seats when I went in real life, and I've just held a grudge since then to Burnley. I don't know if they've replaced the wooden seats in the away end. I'd like to think they have. Anyway, speaking of away days, we're going to hop straight into the first game, which is against Wrexham at the Stock K Ras. It's Welsh. I don't speak Welsh. Let's go to Wales. So for today's away day, we are heading abroad. We're heading to Wales. It's not exactly exotic compared to England. In fact, it's just the same, isn't it? Let's be honest. Welsh Englishmen, we can all agree. There's just a few more sheep and a few less weirdos in Wales. Here is Wrexham. Here is AFC Wrexham. And here is the club. I don't know why I thought it was going to look more impressive in this view. Let's go to satellite view. Here it is in all its glory. There's a stand missing, but they've not put a car park in. They've missed a trick there. They've done half an Oxford. I mean, looking at the outskirts of the stadium, they've got a fantastic car park to the north, to be fair. We've got the University Sports Centre, a hockey pitch next door. There's some nice green area. More car parking, by the way. Love a good car park. I think you guys know that by now. There's a train station next door, so for all you people who want to use public transport, fret not. I'm looking for some super exciting activities to do around the ground. I think the most exciting thing is to go to the carpet shop. Wrexham Carpets. That sounds miserable, doesn't it? I will say, just from this aerial view, the stadium looks very unique. It doesn't look like any other stadium I think we've looked at so far. Maybe that's to do with the lines on the pitch and the fact they've got 4 pitches on it. I assume that won't be there in the match engine. Let's have a look. Okay, there's one dot near the stadium. We might struggle to get a view inside. I mean, the first thing I want to do, you might think, is to look at the car park, isn't it? No. We're going this side. I need to see what's going on behind the goal. Okay, this is from 2022. There is a stand here now. Wait, so is there a stand or isn't there a stand? I'm so confused. Can we get a better look over the fence? There's definitely a stand here now, but it looks old. It doesn't look like it's been recently built. Maybe it's been recently ripped down. Can we go back in time? 2009? Let's see, they didn't have a hedge in 2009. Okay, so the stand here has been here a while. I assume it's been demolished, maybe to build a new one with all the recent investment the club has had. I mean, It's seen better days, hasn't it, from this view here, if we're being real. I have to say, I absolutely love this. You've got the Turf, which is just a pub next door to Wrexham's football ground. I will be honest, I've not watched Welcome to Wrexham. I feel like the world of football, and just people around the world, they probably have a really extensive knowledge of Wrexham. It's just a black hole in my memory. I once did a FIFA 2004 career mode with them when they were in Division 3. That's the extent of my knowledge of Wrexham, and I think things have changed since then. I will say, from the outside, it looks like a really nice stadium. I love this stand, by the way. This looks modern and unique and very different, a bit vibey. You knew I was going to come here, didn't you? I know it's not technically part of the away day, but I do need to just check the car park, and I'm nodding, I'm happy. It's a good car park. Also, very satisfied by the spacing on these trees. Whoever planted these trees, they did a good job making all the gaps even, except here. Bit of an error here. You know, if there was a window, it makes sense. There is no window. Planting of a tree. Okay, we're around the other end of the stadium now. Here is the Wrexham Lager stand. I assume you can buy lager in all the stands, and it's just sponsored by Wrexham Lager. Otherwise, I'd have some questions. A little bit unique, this. I believe that this here is student accommodation. I mean, imagine being a student and, you know, having to travel to away days. It'd be a long trek, wouldn't it? Roll out of bed 5 minutes before kickoff, and you can just come to the game. I feel like maybe that statement reflects more how my day-to-day life operates rather than the average person. I'm the kind of person who can get ready very quickly in the morning. Now, disappointingly, there's not a load of views of the inside of the ground, which is making me feel a bit sad, but there is one dot here that's giving me hope. And that hope's vanished. Can we see some grass? There's a bit of grass. You can kind of see it through the gate, can't you? There's definitely green. Okay, here is the stand on Google Earth. I mean, it looks nice. I assume that building a new stand here. It looks like there's the foundations of a very square ground from my very limited knowledge of building. I will say now, I hope this isn't where they're building the corner of the stand, because that's on the pitch. Whoever's been doing the cement work here, someone should let them know. I think I like the name of the stadium, if I could say it, but I don't speak Welsh. And this stand here, I do really like this stand here. It looks a bit alien, you know? It doesn't really look like a regular football stand. It looks like there was like an original stand here that they kind of built up and then they just added wings to it. It could take off at any moment. I know there's going to be someone mentioned as well, Jack, why don't you just go on Google Images or find some YouTube videos of the ground? Copyright, folks. Even if you think it's transformative use and it's fair use, ultimately, if the person who owns the rights to that copyright claims it, there's a chance that the videos don't make money and the adverts get ripped off my videos. I have to keep the lights on. The studio lights. I know it doesn't look like it. Look, we have lighting here, folks, and I need to be able to pay the bills. So that's why we're limited to Google Earth and Google Maps. I hope you understand. I feel like I've explained that before, but someone will mention it again today, I'm certain. Okay, the Stock Keiras Stadium. I've actually just noticed here in the picture, there is actually a stand here, but I think this is the stand that has been knocked down on this side. I'm sure there's some Wrexham locals watching. Please fill me in on this stadium. Maybe I should go watch Welcome to Wrexham after this. Maybe that's what I do between episodes whilst I play FM. Anyway, I'm getting really distracted. This away day, nice little stadium, lack of footage on the inside, but it had a bit of quirkiness and uniqueness, which we do appreciate here. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Now, like I already mentioned, no NDIAYE today, so that does mean that Lloyd Jones, the Welshman, he needs to step up and be counted. I'm hoping he's going to put in a good shift for us. In terms of the rest of the team, though, we're in a good situation, with one minor exception. Kinski's injured. Yeah, he hasn't been playing amazingly lately, to be fair, and in our most recent game, he damaged his shoulder. Sounds a bit serious, that, doesn't it? Well, good news for us is we have Garcia ready to step up and be counted. He did concede 2 goals in the one league game he played for us this year, but he kept a clean sheet in the Carabao Cup against lower league opposition. Hopefully the Uruguayan's going to step up here. Also, by the way, today my hair's, I'm aware my hair's a mess. I keep wrestling with it, so if you think my hairstyle keeps changing during the video, it's not by choice. Just trying to keep it up out the way so I can see what's bloody going on. Really, I should get a mohawk like Garcia in the 3D match engine. Maybe that's the solution. Anyway, 6 minutes in here, Miyazawa, I've not talked about him. He has been an assist merchant so far, but on this occasion, he's not the man with the assist. Sam Fay is the man who's going to get it, and he's going to give it to Roger. Realise it could be either Roger there. Roger Rojas. I feel like I need to give the Rogers a nickname. Miyazawa, Fay, inside, Rojas, you beautiful man. That is the perfect finish to start this game. Didn't really talk about the rest of the starting 11 for today's game. It is full strength. I am starting with Rojas and Ospina as our front two. Of course, we did sign the Italian striker Zito. He's actually arguably better than the other 2 strikers, but given the fact he's 23, kind of signed him as a freebie option because he was just a free transfer. I wouldn't mind trying to sell him in January, and really I just want to give the 19-year-olds as much of a platform to develop this year. They have stood up, they have been counted, they've played some really, really nice stuff for us, and they don't really look out their depth. contract. So, yeah, I might try and get rid of Zito. If no one bids for him, maybe I'll try and make him angry so he leaves. Or maybe I'm going to need him as a super sub. Because it's 1-1 here. That lead was short-lived. I do think off the back of last episode, I was maybe a bit complacent. I feel like recently, the defeats we've had against the likes of Reading and Ipswich, they've humbled me a little bit. I need to realise we're not impenetrable. We've had some really good momentum, played well, but we've not won an extended run of games in a row in a little while now. With our young, perhaps slightly inexperienced team, this is something new. I have seen a few comments recently as well, actually, about the squad's average age. It is on the lower side. The reason for that simply is that more experienced, older players just have higher wage demands, and I can't attract them. They tend to want to have more senior squad roles. They tend to have a higher reputation, so they're more difficult to sign anyway, and they just want more money, when younger players just present better value for money in Football Manager. In spite of that, despite the fact they are younger players, I think it's worth noting that a lot of the young players in our team have actually played a lot of first-team football. I feel like actually, in some ways, age in Football Manager is less important than number of matches played. You look at someone like Ngoma, he's got like 270 league appearances for us. It's absolutely insane. Anyway, saying all of that, we are on the back foot here as we've just passed the half-an-hour mark. Maturo putting it into the box. Vitinho's there at the back post, and Garcia couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery, could he? The defence is a shambles in front of him. His save there, awful. I said his save there. What save there? I mean, I don't want to blame him because he's got a lovely mohawk, but this goalkeeping here, suspect. Suspect. I think if we get promoted this year, I need a new goalkeeper. Kinski's fine for now, but when he's injured, he's not great, and he's not always perfect for us. Okay, well, we're behind, but there's still 5 minutes left of the half. Rojas, Sanfei, turn provider earlier, the Scotsman, Ospina, Miyazawa can't get there. Jedinak, though, wins a really nice header. Spread wide now to the Japanese international. Gives it back to his Australian friend, Gasperi. I love how international our squad is, by the way. João Victor, trying to play it through the middle. Clayton clears it away to Longman. Wrexham on the back foot here. Statistically, we've been in a good position, and oh my word, Rojas was gifted it, and the keeper has somehow turned it wide of the post. We do still have the corner. This half so far, I feel like we're maybe a bit unfortunate to be behind him. We've not had a lot of the ball, to be fair. One of their players has just done a massive face plant, and I think Gasperi's been booked for shoving him over. Indeed he has. If you thought there was a lack of jeopardy as of last episode, the jeopardy is very much back. We are behind in this game. We have a superior XG. That doesn't really mean anything, does it? I'm looking at Ngoma on a 6.5 and Ospina thinking, do we go for the early changes? And I think the answer's yes. Koke, you know what I need from you. You know what to do. And elsewhere, I actually talked about the idea of bringing Zito on. I kind of forgot. He had to do a fitness test, which he failed. I left him on the bench. So it's an intimidation thing. When you got 9 subs, you can afford to have a player who's really good on the bench but is actually injured, right? Just to scare the other team by the prospect he could come on. Instead, I'm going to bring on Niele. I mean, Mad has played really well. Maybe lately his form's dropped off a little bit, but this guy knows how to score. We need goals. Okay, into this second half we go. Wrexham with a throw-in on the near side. Imagine if they were to double their lead. I don't want to imagine it. It would be the nightmare scenario, but it could be a reality we face as Matthews is fouled by Jedinak. And now they've got a penalty. I mean, Martinez has Garcia's done nothing so far. Can he do anything here? Alcaraz shoots. It's 3-1 Wrexham. How many shots on target have they had? 4. I mean, I can't really expect Garcia to save the penalty, and maybe I'm just looking for a scapegoat. He's not wowed me today. Might ask him to shave off his mohawk as punishment for this. Right, you know what? We might be 2 goals down, but we can turn this around. Miyazawa has taken the half-time captain's armband with Ngoma hauled off the pitch, hoping he can provide some inspiration as he plays it through to Sanfei. The great Scot is in behind, and he shoots it straight at the goalkeeper. Koke, fresh off the bench. Fresh as a daisy? Perhaps he whips it towards Gasperi. It's cleared away, but Sanfei back wide to Koke. So many players in the box to try and aim for. Can we pick someone out? Gasperi. Fei scores. Okay, I'll forgive him for the previous miss. Never doubted him. Love Sanfei. I know there's some people who get annoyed that I don't say his name correctly because it's Fahey? I can't remember. Either way, I've asked him personally. He says he wants it said Fei. And if you disagree, he's not a real person, and I asked him. So, Fei. Sanfei. I think it said Sanfahi. Fahi? Doesn't roll off the tongue. Faye. I also love the fact that we've had lots of people recently trying to correct the pronunciation of NDIA. I feel like I've made it clear that I know it said NDI, but for the sake of the NDI, we can't be NDI. Doesn't work with the song. I feel like when you're a new viewer here, you hear me say stuff incorrectly and it annoys you, then you just realise it's part of the experience. Right, Jedinak is coming off having given away the penalty. Diego Marino on you come. João Victor's been poor in this one. Bellardo, I need some inspiration from deep. You're the man to provide it. I'm going to move Riviera across to play as the defensive midfielder. The great thing about this guy is not only is he a really good deep line playmaker, he can really do a good job as a defensive midfielder with his 15 tackling and decent kind of all-round ability. Maybe lacks a little bit in aggression and strength, but no, it's fine. People seem to think that for every player role, a player has to tick every single attribute. Bellardo shoots and it's saved. I really don't agree with that. I feel like you can have a player who maybe lacks one or two key attributes to the role they play. If their other attributes are way better, I think they can make up for that deficit in their game. And I feel like that is something that I encourage people to experiment with. Football Manager is a game where you can kind of play the game however you want, and that's the beauty of it. Do what works for you, I suppose, is the ultimate thing. But I do find it amusing when people tell me I'm playing the game incorrectly. I've been playing it a while. Just a little bit. Too much, some would argue. But it's worked out for me. Nearly, please help me. Faye. I'm just begging the players. Faye! Thank you. Thank you, Faye. He's helped us there. Good egg is Sam Faye. I mean, should we talk about the finish for this? This is absolutely ridiculous. Nearly, we've brought him on to stretch the defensive line with his pace, not to do stuff like that. Great assist, but that left foot finish, it's stupid. It's 3-3, there's 12 minutes left. I'm getting shouty. Demand more. We're going for the win. We're going for the jugular. Let's make it happen. Be very on brand now, wouldn't it? If, after saying all of that, there's no more highlights. Or if they just go up the other end and score. I don't like this. Wrexham, 6 minutes of added time to be played. Mayer played in behind. Loads of players in the middle. They've scored. They've scored. Vitinho scored his third goal of the season. I think it's his second of the game. I'm fuming. Well, it's our first defeat in a live commentary this year, if indeed we can't respond in the next 5 minutes. It's been a good start to the year. I won't blame Garcia for that one. I mean, at this point, nothing to lose, is there? Lloyd Jones go forward. Miyazawa, up you go. Bellardo, you can just play in the middle as an advanced playmaker. Colke, attacking midfielder on attack. We're going for it. We kind of have to at this point. Hit early crosses, pass into space, force the play through the middle. Let's play nice and narrow. In transition, just kick it as long as you can, as quick as you can. You know what? I'm going to make a sub here as well. I'm going to take off Rojas. He's very, very tired. Sam Faye, go up top. Kamara, you got 6 minutes to score. Is there going to be a goal? I've thrown all the men forward. You know what? It's Football Manager, isn't it? As soon as you throw players forward, nothing happens. We've played 50 seconds over the time. Wrexham are time wasting in the corner. I feel like the game's just trying to make me angry by showing me this. Why are we watching him time waste? I thought the guy's name was Bum for a second. It's Blum. He's just time wasting in the corner. They've scored another. Get me out of the game. Enjoy your win, Wrexham. I'm throwing a water bottle. Don't think it's an overreaction. A couple of the players are crying. Do not care. Now, unfortunately, with that result there, Luton have closed the gap on us to 2 points. Nobody liked that. Oxford also managed to win, so they are closing the gap on us too. I mean, it's still a healthy gap, but 6 points isn't nearly the cushion it once was. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention earlier, Christian Martinez, I'm selling. That might come as a little bit of a shock, but the Chilean just really hasn't lived up to expectation. He's not performed well when I've given him chances. Last year, he made 31 appearances. I gave him a lot of football matches, really. 22 starts. Half our league games he started at right back. With Miyazawa's arrival, he's not been good enough. We now have Marino, who I think is a better backup right back in truth. And I've got the option here to make all the money that we spent on him back, which just feels nice. He wanted to leave too. He is at the moment the only sale we've got going on. I did have a bid for Jaeger at one point, who's still here just as a squad player chilling, but the offer was absolutely pitiful. For a player who still has plenty of kind of time left on his current deal, think I might look for a loan for him in January. Anyway, January is tomorrow's problem, or next episode's problem. Not literally tomorrow in game, it's the 9th of December. We've got Burnley up next. Now, Burnley, pre-season, I would have said is a harder game than Wrexham. Given where they are in the league, maybe it's a more winnable one. What I do know for certain is we do need to win this one. We could find ourselves no longer top of the league. That would be nothing short of a disaster. That next game is 4 days away. I'm going to rest up the players. Don't go anywhere. I've consumed a pack of hula hoops to try and cheer me up. hasn't worked. I'm going to make some changes for this game. Maybe that will solve our problems. Cole K is going to come in and start an advanced playmaker. DIAYE, I'm also going to bring into the team. He has impressed me recently. He's had some good little cameos on off the bench. Given how poorly Ospina has been lately, I feel like he just needs to sit on the bench and think about what he's done. This guy, I think, had 8 goals or maybe 7 goals in his first 7 or 8 games. He was almost on a goal-a-game ratio. He's not scored in a long time. In fact, 3 goals in the last 20 games we've played is really bad. So DIAYE is going to come in for him. Elsewhere, Marino, right centre-back here. Jerdanaki gave away a penalty last game. He's been going through a little bit of a rough patch, the youngster. He is still developing really well. But yeah, Marino, a very capable centre-back, is going to come in. Of course, we did spend the big bucks on him. He's been playing frequently on off the bench. 5 starts as well. He is going to start this one. You might have noticed he is playing as a no-nonsense centre-back. I accidentally promised him when I'd signed him I'd play him as a no-nonsense centre-back. So just trying to keep him happy, really. As for Burnley, they are a team that was struggling earlier on this year. They have started to pick up their form a little bit with a change in management. They were predicted to be right back up in a promotion battle this year. I think they were only relegated last year. So they have some good quality. They did sell a lot of players. That said, we cannot take anything for granted. Our last game was poor. You can see they are sat so far behind us in 18th. On paper, we should win this game comfortably. Our recent form, though, dictates it's not going to be that simple. Okay, no NDIA again. He's still playing for Senegal. I will say he has been a massive miss for us. You kind of take for granted that against, I think it was Luton, he got 2 goals and 2 assists last episode from left back. We miss our left back. We miss our finishing ability. I was going to say, I want to blame our finishing ability. We did score 3 goals last game, so maybe the finishing ability is fine. Maybe we just need to defend a little bit better. Early on in this game, though, we've had 1 chance. We could be on the attack again here. Initial opportunity came from down this right-hand side. Miyazawa is trying to make magic happen again. The right back, he's hit the ground running, hasn't he? Ball is not cleared away, and Roger Rojas, with his 10th goal of the season, from a redonkulous angle. Be real here, when he chose to shoot, did you think it was going in? Because I didn't think it was going in. I feel like I've got PTSD from like the last 10 years of Football Manager where players smash it into the side netting. Somehow he's got the ball behind Muric there and into the back of the net. That was a great finish. This is how the last game started with a Roger Rojas goal, though. So I'm not going to get too carried away. 20 minutes played in this game. Burnley as the home team looking really uninspired. No shots to their name, lacking in possession, but we need to get a couple more goals. Defensively, we've been a bit suspect. Garcia is still in goal. He's not yet been tested, but when he is, you kind of expect him to concede. So more goals are probably going to be required to get a result here. DIAYE brought back into the team, moving into the channel, could try and pick out Colke. Does at the second time of asking. Lloyd Jones at left back to Riviere. Back, well, I was going to say to Lloyd Jones, the pass intercepted by Longstaff, and now it's Burnley trying to launch a counter-attack. We are not in a good position here, and I'll tell you what, bar a pretty poor finish off target, that probably should have been 1-1. We might be a goal up. I'm going to shout some encouragement to the players. I've tried to be good cop there. João Victor's hated it. He's got the red angry face. And I thought it was going to come back to bite me immediately. Garcia's made a great little stop there. That's the first save I think we've seen him make in a game and a half. There's 5 minutes left of the break. Still looking for a second goal in this game, which I think we probably deserve on the balance of play. Could it come here? Rojas! Oh my word. I love him. I don't know if I've mentioned how much I love Roger Rojas. I just love saying his name. It's just fun. He came from Costa Rica. He's going to score against you. Doesn't rhyme. Faye lays it across, but the finish is just sensational. Couldn't have picked a better spot to put it in. Outside the box, top corner, 2-0. How'd you like that? I mean, I really liked it. Could we get another 3-0 before half-time? I'm getting a bit greedy here, I fear. Statistically, by the way, despite Burnley having that 1 shot, that is the only shot on target they've had all game. We've had 56% of the ball, and we've got the ball again here. Sam Faye, been at the heart of everything we've done in the last 2 games yet again here. Riviere, Miyazawa, Rojas looked offside there. He's not getting his hat-trick yet. He went too early. 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half has come and gone. We are 2-0 up. We look absolutely sensational here. This is one of those games where I want to tell the person, you're doing brilliantly, but I fear if I do it complacently, sinks in. I'm going to do it anyway. Madder's not had a good game on a 6.4. Roger Ospina. Let's see what you can do, mate. I really want Roger Ospina to do well. He started the season well. He's shown he's capable of scoring goals. But lately he's been poor. Burnley, though, they're not a good team in the grand scheme of things. They've not looked good here. Maybe this is a good game to try and get his confidence up. Okay, well, the second half is going to start with a very early highlight. Burnley trying to play the ball out from the back. Sam Fay reads it nicely. Riviere, João Victor, Fay. This is nice, isn't it? This is pretty. Colke in behind could square it. Does square it. Ospina, João Victor, the defensive mid shoots. It deflects into the back of the net. He's not going to care. He's going to go and celebrate in front of the paramedics in the corner. I'm wondering, why is there two paramedics and an ambulance just in the corner? How does the ambulance get out? How do these guys, like, are these the physios, the team? Are they just ambulance workers just sat in the corner? Maybe they're just in disguise. You know, they're doing one of those YouTuber, I snuck into X event video. They snuck into a championship game dressed as paramedics. That's my theory. Okay, we're 3-0 up in this game. Coming up to an hour played. I hit pause there to make changes. Then a highlight literally began at the same time. We'll wait and see what Miyazawa and Faye can cook up as the ball's whipped towards Colke and over everyone. But 3 goals up now, I'm thinking about taking off some of our better players and just resting them. Of course, Christmas period, traditionally in English football, is a busy one. And it'd be good to rest our best players. We will definitely do that now. It's 4-0. That's deflected in. I feel dirty celebrating it. I mean, look at all the ratings. Everyone's playing so well. I don't really want to take anyone off. You know what? Riviere, you've just scored. You can come off. Mamadou Dia is unhappy at the moment. He wants to leave the club, and I am kind of willing to sell him if a good offer comes in. We can put him in the shop window here at left back. He's not a good left back, but I just feel like with how this game's going, we can afford to do that. I am going to take off Rojas, who I know is on for a hat-trick, but Zito needs some first-team minutes. I need to get his match sharpness back after his little injury setback. And elsewhere, Kamara on for Sam Fay. We'll give Kamara some minutes. He isn't happy about his kind of game time at the moment. You might remember I was training this guy to maybe play right back at one point. Now that I've sold Martinez, I am back on the idea that he could be a good right back. Please don't question it. I still look at him and think he could be a right back. Is that still crazy? Maybe slightly. It's what I'm doing. You can't stop me. I just like the idea of having kind of a really good Senegalese right back and left back. Just the Senegalese wing backs. It'll be well fun until the African Cup of Nations comes around and they're both on international duty at the same time. I mean, we struggled last game without DIAYE. We're not really missing him here. Has just dawned on me, I have just made all 5 subs with half an hour left. I am asking myself to get bitten in the bottom by Football Manager. Hopefully there's no injuries between now and full time. I have to say, Burnley have been absolutely awful in this game. They've had just 1 shot on target all match. I wondered, you know, down to their kind of poor performance, like what's causing it? They just look like a bit of a mess. They just don't look very good. Media prediction of second. We are absolutely punishing them here. And for a moment, I thought we were going to get a 5th. 4 minutes of added time. We've got a corner. Roger Ospina. He wants to get back in amongst the goals. Be that an assist or a goal, either would be nice. Colke has scored his 10th of the year. It's 5-0. It's I'm sorry, Burnley. I'll tell you what a contrast in performances between this game and the previous one. I'm going to look at the Wrexham game as a little bit of a blip. Yes, they are perhaps a team more in the ascendancy, but I do feel like we're a tad unlucky. We've been back at our best in this one. Maybe a little bit of fortune with some bounces leading to goals, but ultimately Burnley have not created a great deal. We've looked great. There could still be time for another. Kamara tackled, falls to Ospina. It's 6. I stopped showing the highlights for the last goals. I'll not show another for Burnley fans' sanity. I'm sorry. Does make you wonder what the hell happened against Wrexham, doesn't it? Yeah, 6-0 in this game. What a performance. Sea of green ratings. Miyazawa on an 8.5, by the way. 3 key passes, 3 clear-cut chances created, 0 assists. The finishing of players from his chances let him down. He could have had a few more assists for his collection. Of course, this result here is going to do our goal difference a world of good too, which is always nice to be able to say aloud. Did Luton or Oxford slip up? The answer is Oxford didn't play, is the answer, and Luton did win. They beat Reading, who are in 4th away from home. You had one job, Reading, you've let me down. I did just notice there as well, Bournemouth lost another game. Bournemouth, of course, were predicted to win the league. They were right behind us last episode. Suddenly, they're on the verge of dropping out of the playoffs. Roger Rojas' early finishing really set us on our merry way there. 2 more goals for him, 11 goals in 14 games. This guy's just too good for the championship, isn't he? He is mad. I don't know if you spotted it as well. He is on a bit more money than he was on before. £10,000 a week he's now on. Contract extension after promotion of 3 years. A bit of a weird contrast in today's matches, but sometimes that's the way Football Manager goes. Away from Wrexham, 3-5. I mean, positives are we've scored 9 goals in 2 games, but conceding 5 is never nice. But to follow it up with a clean sheet is always good. We are still top of the league. We are still in a very good position. One little thing I'll just show you to wrap up today is our youth intake preview. It's not the most exciting, but Bs are actually still quite good for our level, so it could still be fine. And actually, just to give you a little update, Gilliland, there's an extra L in there, the Scottish player who came for our youth intake last year, he is now playing for the Scottish under-21s team. He's been training really well, developing really well. Really keen to see his development continue to crack on. He has been playing with both the under-18s and under-21s, and at least right now, he's showing good progress. If we could pull ahead at the top of the table, I'd give him a run of games at the end of the year, but given recent form, that might not be possible. Anyway, next episode, we will probably be in or after the January transfer window. There could be some new signings to speak of. Who might they be? Tune in tomorrow to find out. If you've enjoyed today's video, leave a like. I'll see you guys next time. It's me, Jack. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.